on CBS 46 News at 6.
It's sad.
The federal money intended to keep people on small business payrolls has been completely used up. I'm talking to our lawmaker about what's being done to bring the money back.
So you're in debt, a lot of debt, and you're thinking about going to one of those debt relief companies. Is that a good idea? Coming up, we'll tell you why it's not.
If we remain united, just as we have in this fight against COVID-19, we can overcome the challenges and the obstacles that are ahead of us. But if we allow politics, partisanship, elections, and egos to divide us during this important inflection point, our entire state will suffer.
Governor Kemp pleading with state lawmakers to remain focused on defeating the coronavirus as he lays out plans to slowly reopen the state's economy. Governor Kemp's announcement is music to some people's ears, critics not so much. Good evening and thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Sean Gables.
And I'm Tracy Hutchins. Well, this afternoon he announced a huge chunk of Georgia's workforce can clock in as early as this Friday as long as they practice social distancing. Included in that list are gyms, barbershops, and hair salons, nail salons as well. The governor also announced more hospitals would soon be able to resume elective surgeries. CBS 46's Adam Murphy begins tonight's team coverage. Adam?
Tracy, good evening. I can tell you this is major news coming out of the governor's coronavirus briefing today. Seems like just a couple of weeks ago, the governor was talking about everyone needing to stay at home, shelter in place, businesses should remain closed, but a very different tune today. Of course, not only did the governor, but his team on the coronavirus task force talk about how they've seen a tremendous improvement, not only a plateau, but a decline in the number of coronavirus cases. And they said that visits to the ER are down drastically. They're also talking about how their testing capability is up in the state of Georgia. And now they are working with Augusta University as well, where they are going to be manufacturing swab tests that are done on 3D printers out of Augusta University, and this will help Georgia continue to test individuals. Now, it's been quiet in the state for at least 30 days now, and you can see roads have been empty, businesses have been closed. Many cities around the country are now seeing people that are coming out and protesting, saying, hey, the state should reopen. There are groups here in Georgia that wanted to see that happen, and sure enough, as you mentioned, the governor announced that this Friday, gyms, bowling alleys, hair salons can all open, obviously minding CDC guidelines of social distancing as well as safe practices. Governor went on to say that beginning Monday, theaters and restaurants could open, but then he said bars and theme parks must remain closed until further notice. Obviously, the governor was asked how he feels this will turn out and whether or not he'll get some political backlash. Here's what he had to say.
I don't give a damn about politics right now. We're talking about somebody that has put their whole life into building a business that has people that they love and work with every single day, working in many of these places, that are at home, going broke, worried about whether they can feed their children, make the mortgage payment. You know, these are tough decisions, no doubt.
And the governor also saying that places of worship could resume in-person worship as long as they mind these guidelines. Of course, he was still encouraging people to find other creative ways to do that. But this is a big turn of events here, and obviously interesting information for a lot of businesses that would like to reopen. But then there's, of course, the medical side and still concerns that there could be another outbreak if we just resume business as normal. The governor saying it's not going to be normal, it's a new normal. We'll stay on top of all developments here. For now, we are live outside Liberty Plaza across from the state capitol here in downtown Atlanta. Adam Murphy, CBS 46 News.
Adam, thank you. 1 million small businesses operate in Georgia, employing more than 1.5 million people. Tonight, many of those people are gearing up to get back to work. Others still in need of financial assistance. They're waiting for Congress to get its act together.
At this hour, our Democratic colleagues are still prolonging their discussions with the administration, so the Senate regretfully will not be able to pass more funding for Americans' paychecks today.
That is Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell announcing that the Senate will not vote on a multi-billion-dollar bill to provide loans to small business owners. CBS 46's Haley Mason continues our team coverage tonight, reaching out to local small businesses working to get a piece of the financial pie.
Sean, when many small businesses had to close, they were hoping to keep their staff on payroll, and they saw the Paycheck Protection Program as a step in the right direction. But many are telling us that money was gone before they could even apply. Now they're learning that big businesses got that small business loan money. Vicki Sanders runs the Hug Box gift shop in Noonan, sending out much needed comforting trinkets, teas, and candles.
It's sad, because the small mom and pop shops, they have to be closed.
She says despite trying, none of the business owners around her have been approved for the popular Paycheck Protection Program loans from the Small Business Administration.
Nobody has received anything except for one person, and when that's still pending even.
Now the money is gone. There was $350 billion put into the PPP fund on April 3rd. In just 2 weeks, that money has all been given away through banks and now sits at zero.
We probably knew that there'd be some more in there, and that's why hopefully this week we can get it started.
Congressman Doug Collins says the U.S. Senate is looking at a refunding bill that would add between $250 to $300 billion more dollars to the PPP. He says House lawmakers are hoping to vote on it by Wednesday or Thursday when they can all agree on the terms. And on top of the politics, many small business owners today are learning that big businesses have taken some of the small business loans. Big restaurant chain Ruth's Chris got $20 million and Shake Shack got $10 million. Its CEO announced it will give its money back. CBS News reports that more than 50 publicly traded companies have already disclosed they've taken nearly $250 million in PPP dollars. I asked Collins if the new funding bill will make it harder for big business to take those small business funds.
I would disagree with the premise that there's big business bump other people out. There's a lot of it. Most of the majority of business went to the small business. And this, as I said just a few minutes ago, there are going to be money set aside for the smaller banks, the $10 billion under, $50 billion under, which would handle the what you would classify as a much smaller business, the mom and pop business.
And Collins went on to tell me that the new bill should allot about $10 billion for smaller banks to fund smaller businesses directly. He tells me also that if small business owners applied for PPP funding and did not get approved this last go round, that they do not need to reapply. He says they will have priority because they are already in the pipeline. Reporting live in West Midtown, Haley Mason, CBS 46 News.
Haley, thank you. Atlanta Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms is also taking steps to reopen the city. She is issuing an administrative order directing the city's chief operating officer to put together an advisory council. That group will suggest to the mayor what it will take to end the current stay-at-home order. Now, according to the order, the advisory group needs to give its suggestions to the mayor no later than May 15th. Across the country, other states are slowly rolling out plans to reopen. Starting this week, Vermont Governor Phil Scott will let certain non-essential businesses reopen as long as they continue to practice social distancing guidelines. Montana Governor Steve Bullock says restrictions in his state will start to ease on April 24th. Now, it is worth noting that combined, those two states have more than 1,200 confirmed coronavirus cases. As of tonight, 3 Georgia counties, Fulton, DeKalb, and Dougherty County, have more confirmed cases than that. Statewide, Georgia has almost 19,000 cases and 733 deaths. Dougherty County has the most deaths with 97. Confirmed cases will continue to increase as Georgia expands its testing. New testing sites, including drive-through locations in Midtown Atlanta and Rockdale County, are popping up. Doctors say this is a good start, but more testing is needed to seriously consider reopening the state.
We don't know how many people have had the disease and remained asymptomatic. So they had it, they had no symptoms, but they were still able to spread. We need to know how many people have had it from that perspective, and we need to understand better whether immunity provides protection. Again, something else we'll need to know before we start kind of loosening the reins on social distancing.
Right now, Georgia ranks among the bottom 10 states for adequate access to coronavirus testing.
Hundreds of homes and businesses remain in the dark tonight. Overnight, powerful storms moved into metro Atlanta. The strong winds and driving rain caused trees to fall, mainly south of Interstate 20. But It's looking much better now. At least fingers are crossed that's the case. Jennifer Valdez also practicing social distancing at her home. Jen, it's really nice outside.
Really nice. There's a little bit of a breeze out of the northwest, but we're in the 70s. We have lots of sunshine. It does feel really nice, and that's a stark contrast to what we had yesterday with all-day rain, heavy at times. I do want to show you what things look like right now. We are dry. No rain out there, no clouds out there. The system that brought us those storms has now moved to our south and east, that area of low pressure you see off the coast, and that will continue to push away. It was a very different story yesterday. Here's a look at storm reports across the southeast. Although we were very lucky, there were 274 reports total. 10 of those were tornadoes, 1 in Texas, 8 in Mississippi, 1 in Louisiana. We also had more than 200 wind reports, and all of those reports were out of North Georgia. So we really got out of this one unscathed. And this beautiful weather will continue for the next couple of days. We get a brief break from the rain, but this does change on Thursday as our next chance of rain arrives. We'll see some thunderstorms as well. So good news, no rain on Tuesday and Wednesday. Bad news, we have thunderstorms on Thursday, and we could see an additional inch to 2 inches of rain on top of thunderstorms. Then we have another storm system moving in this weekend that will bring us additional rain. We'll talk about both systems and let you know exactly what you need to know coming up.
Jennifer, thanks. Over the weekend, people flirted with violating social distancing guidelines. Well, we saw a lot of people getting a little too close for comfort. Well, of course, they were trying to enjoy the nice weather, get some fresh air. Well, today, Atlanta City Council members pressed Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms to fully close the city's parks. You see a lot of people out there skating at a skate park like this one. The cause is close to Councilman Michael Julian Bond's heart. Last week, a family member passed away because of the coronavirus.
I saw people still playing basketball, still waiting on the side to get picked for the next game. You know, Piedmont Park, Grant Park, Washington Park, Mosley Park, full of people. You know, that's dangerous.
Now, people against closing parks say the goal is to change how the green spaces are being used. They point to 4 closed golf courses in the city. Those are now being used as places for people to responsibly gather and practice social distancing, just to walk, not golf. Well, CBS 46 is leading coverage on the coronavirus outbreak with hourly updates on the powerful CBS 46 streaming app and also on our CBS 46 Facebook page. Well, a double murder suspect is in custody right now. Sean?
Friday, Tracy, Gwinnett County Police say this 19-year-old accused of shooting and killing 2 people. Take a look at him. Here he is. This is Stephen Tran. He faces murder and aggravated assault charges. Investigators say he killed 2 men inside a home on Racket Club Circle in Lawrenceville. And Atlanta police arrest the driver accused of hitting and killing 2 people on the downtown connector. Jose Garcia Trujillo is charged with homicide by vehicle and hit and run. The crash happened during the morning commute near Andrew Young International Boulevard. Investigators say the victims got out of their car after some kind of mechanical issue.
We're going to start with our 3-degree guarantee because we are at 100% accuracy for the month of April, and that trend continues. This was our Friday forecast for Saturday afternoon. The forecast was 72. We got up to 70. That is within 3 degrees, so that money keeps on piling. $700 now for the American Red Cross for the month of April. We are dry right now. So yes, we had a lot of rain yesterday and through the overnight hours, but that has now come to an end. You look at rainfall totals, pretty extensive across North Georgia, with the highest total south of I-20, anywhere between 1 to 2 inches of rain south of I-20. Highest totals over Middle Georgia from Columbus to Macon. 4 to 6 inches of rain, and we had lots of reports of flooded roadways, trees down, power outages. That's where most of the damage occurred. This rainfall, not what we needed to see, especially so much of it. We are way above average. So far in April, we've seen almost 4 inches of rain. Normally, we should be over about 2 inches of rain for the month. And then you look at the year, Normally, we're up to about 16 inches of rain. We've had nearly 30 inches of rain. So for the month, for the year, we've seen way too much rain, about twice as much. We are going to get a break, but it is short-lived. Another system moves in Thursday. That will bring us 100% chance of rain, even some thunderstorms. Good news is we have 2 days to recover from all that rain. Tomorrow, another sunny day, another breezy day. We'll see wind gusts up to 25 miles an hour as we reach the mid-70s. Then on Wednesday, I'm watching the system to our west. Over the day Wednesday, it'll be over Texas, Louisiana, Arkansas, into Mississippi. Then that system will make its way into our area on Thursday, starting Thursday morning, but by the afternoon, it could bring some very heavy downpours, even some thunderstorms. Severe weather risk for Wednesday is to our west, so no severe weather as that storm approaches. But on Thursday, as that system moves in, watching closely for the potential of strong damaging winds. On top of that, another day of very heavy rainfall, 1 to 2 inches of rain expected. So this will be a big rainmaker, certainly not what we need for the month or for the year as those rain totals continue to increase. Another break on Friday before more rain moves in this weekend.